What if I told you that we could take an already fantastic bike and elevate it to something truly exceptional? Today, we're doing just that with this 1998 Bridgestone MB4. Remember that sweet Shimano Deore LX and XT drivetrain we salvaged from my 1994 Bridgestone MB2? Well, get ready, because they're about to find their new home right here, transforming this ride into an absolute dream machine. You won't want to miss seeing this upgrade in action. First up, the wheels. To get the rear wheel off, I unhook the straddle cable from the cantilever brake, then loosen the quick release skewer. With that done, the wheel drops out. The front wheel comes off the same way. Next, it's time for the 7-speed chain to go. Luckily, this one's got a quick link, making removal a breeze. A quick squeeze with the quick link pliers and the chain slides right out. Easy as that. Now for the rear derailleur. I start by unscrewing the bolt that holds the shift cable, maybe a little too enthusiastically because it fell right to the floor. Good thing I spotted it and got it reattached. After that, it was a simple matter of snipping the cable and unscrewing the derailleur from the hanger. Next, I'm tackling the rear cantilever brake arms. After unscrewing the bolt that holds each arm to its brake boss, I make sure to zip tie the spring to its correct brake arm. This keeps everything organized for reassembly. To finish the job, it's just a matter of repeating the process for the other brake arm. Now on to the front derailleur. Just like the rear, I unscrew the bolt that secures the shift cable. With that free, I then unscrew the bolt for the clamp that holds the derailleur to the seat tube. And it's off. Alright, crank arms are next. I'm starting with the drive side. First, I pop off the dust cap that's hiding the bolt securing the crank arm to the bottom bracket spindle. Then I remove that bolt. With the bolt out, I grab my trusty crank puller tool and, with a bit of leverage, the crank arm slides right off. I then repeat the entire process for the non-drive side. Now for the bottom bracket. I start on the non-drive side. Using my notch spanner, I loosen the lock ring. To my surprise, the entire bottom bracket cup came out with the lock ring still attached. With that out, I removed the spindle and moved my attention to the drive side. With a little force from my bottom bracket tool, the drive side cup unscrewed and was removed from the bike. Next, I'm moving on to the front of the bike to remove the cantilever brakes. I simply unscrew the bolt from the brake bosses on each side and remove each arm. I'll take care of the zip tie trick off camera to keep things moving along. Now for the handlebars and stem. I just unscrew the bolt that compresses the wedge holding the stem in place. Once that's loose, I can simply lift out the entire assembly, handlebars and stem all in one piece. Finally, the last part to come off the bike, the fork. This one's held in by a threaded headset. To get it off, I'll unscrew the lock nut, remove any spacers, and then take off the top bearing race. With those out of the way, the fork can simply be slid out of the head tube. And with that, the final disassembly is complete. Every component is off the frame. Now, I'll take everything off camera to give it a thorough cleaning and inspection before we start putting this dream machine back together. Time to start putting things back together, and we'll begin with the bottom bracket. I'm using some Dawn Power Wash and a microfiber cloth to get these threads sparkling clean. As I was cleaning, I discover a protective sleeve still inside the bottom bracket shell. With that removed, I can continue with the rest of the cleaning. Now to get this bottom bracket installed. I'm starting by applying a good amount of grease to the drive side bottom bracket cup, and then I'm going to pack the bearings themselves with plenty of grease. Next, I'll carefully screw the bottom bracket cup into the bottom bracket shell. I'll use my bottom bracket tool to get everything tightened down securely. Ouch! Looks like I found a sharp edge. No worries, just a little poke. Time to grab a file and take care of that sharp edge so that it doesn't happen again. Moving on to the drive side. As I was applying grease to the cup, that little finger prick decided to become a gusher. I had to put the cup down and take care of the injury off camera. I'm back, and despite the bike's best effort to drain me dry, I'm continuing to pack the bearings with grease. As I started screwing on the non-drive side, yep, bleeding again. This bike is really trying to take me out. But I'm not giving up. After another quick cleanup, I finished the job, adjusting the cups and locking everything down securely with the lock ring. With the bottom bracket sorted, it's time to get the crank arms back on. I'll start with the drive side, sliding it onto the spindle. Then I'll thread on the nut and really tighten it down. We definitely don't want this crank arm coming off mid-ride. I'll repeat the exact process on the non-drive side. Once both arms are on, I'll give the crank arms a good spin to make sure everything is running smoothly. Next up, we're installing the front derailleur. This part is crucial for smooth shifting, so getting it aligned correctly is key. Thankfully, the witness marks on the C-tube from the original setup gives us a perfect guide for the height and angle. A quick tightening of the bolt, making sure it's parallel with the chain rings, and we're one step closer to a fully functional drivetrain. Now for one of the key upgrades, installing the Shimano Deore XT rear derailleur. This is a big one. This new derailleur should significantly improve the shifting, making for a much better experience for the rider. Next up, installing the 7-speed chain. I'll carefully thread the chain through the new rear derailleur, making sure it's routed correctly. Once that's done, I'll bring the ends together and connect them with the quick link, just like how we removed them earlier. It's now time to prep the headset bearings. I'm starting by applying a generous amount of grease to the top headset cup. Then I'm packing the cage bearings with grease. With both the cup and the bearings packed, they'll stay put once I place them in the bottom cup. I'll then move on to the top bearing cup, packing that with grease as well, followed by the top cage bearings. Once complete, I'll place these bearings inside the top cup and place them to rest on the top bearing race. Now it's time to install the fork. I carefully slide the threaded fork through the head tube and then screw on the top bearing race. Getting this tightened down is a real Goldilocks game. It's all about finding the just right spot. You don't want it too tight, which will bind the steering, and definitely not too loose, which would cause play. Once I have it adjusted perfectly, I install any spacers I have and then lock everything down securely with the lock nut. Now to get the stem and handlebars back on as one unit. I start by applying a bit of grease to the wedge of the stem. Then I carefully insert the stem into the steerer tube. Once it's in place, I align the handlebars to ensure they're straight. And finally, tighten the bolt that contracts the wedge that secures everything firmly in place. Now for one of the most exciting upgrades, installing the Shimano Deore LX integrated shifter brake levers. These are a massive step up from the old thumb shifters that once lived on these handlebars. They just slide right into place and I tighten them down securely. Next up, I'm installing a new shift cable into the rear shifter. I carefully insert the cable and then pull the slack through the shifter. Once it's fully inserted, I give the shifter a few clicks to test the shifting just to make sure everything's engaging properly. Now let's put that shift cable to good use. I thread the cable through the cable housing, carefully routing it towards the rear of the bike. Once it reaches its destination, I attach the cable to our Shimano XT rear derailleur and begin to dial in the cable tension. After a few tweaks to the cable tension off camera, we get the shifting working perfectly with nice, crisp shifts. Now it's time for the front Shimano Deore LX integrated shifter brake lever. Just like with the rear, it slides onto the handlebars. I make sure it's perfectly aligned with the rear shifter and then tighten things down securely. Next up, I'm installing a new shift cable in the front shifter. I carefully insert the cable and then pull all the slack through the shifter. Once it's fully inserted, I give the shifter a few clicks to test the shifting, just to make sure everything is engaging properly. Now, we'll thread the front shift cable through some cable housing and route it towards the front derailleur. Once it's there, we can secure the cable to the front shifter and test things out. Again, we're getting nice, crisp shifts. This bike is really coming together. Next, I'm installing the rear cantilever brake arms. I start by applying a thin coat of grease to the brake bosses. Then, I slide the first brake arm over its boss and secure it with a bolt, making sure everything is nice and tight. The other side gets the same treatment and I secure it with its bolt, ensuring it's also good and snug. Lastly, I connect the straddle cable. Next, I'll install a new brake cable for the rear brake lever. I'll then thread the cable through some cable housing and route it towards the rear of the bike. Once there, I'll connect the brake cable to the straddle cable and start adjusting the tension. With that set, I'll give the brakes a good test, and just like that, we have some serious stopping power. Now for the front cantilever brake arms. I start by applying a thin coat of grease to both brake bosses. Next, I slide on the first brake arm and secure it with a bolt, making sure it's nice and tight. I follow this by installing the second brake arm and securing it with its bolt. After that, I install the front wheel and connect the straddle cable. Now, it's time to install and route the new brake cable for the front brakes. After I insert the new brake cable into the lever, I thread it through a piece of cable housing. Next, I route the housing and the cable down towards the front brakes. I then attach the new brake cable to the straddle cable and adjust the tension. Finally, I give the front wheel a good spin and test the stopping power. Looks like we're good to go. It's time for some finishing touches. I'm going to snip the excess cables to length and install some cable ends. This not only cleans up the look of the bike, but also prevents the cables from fraying. It's time to install the pedals. I always start by greasing the threads generously. This is a crucial step for easy removal down the road. It's important to remember that the pedals are right and left side specific, and they even have different threading to match. So, making sure you've got the right pedal on the right side is key. Now for the final touch, installing the new handlebar grips. For those of you who've been following my builds, you might recognize these. They're those blue grips that never quite matched any of my other projects. But, to my surprise, they match this bike perfectly. I'm really glad I found a home for these on this build. And that's a wrap on transforming this 1998 Bridgestone MB4. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Thank you so much for watching and for all your incredible support. If you've enjoyed seeing this build come to life, please give this video a like, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the upgrade. Your engagement truly helps the channel, and I love hearing from you.